Welcome back. All right, I'm doing something that I know I've done towards the end of the season before. I'm tapping out. The 7:30 game is just it's taking forever. It doesn't really matter. The LA Kings are resting a bunch of players and the inane chatter back and forth. All right, we'll discuss that when I get to that game, but by the time I get to that game it will be over. It just feels like it's taking forever. So we'll start things off with New Jersey and Boston. Allen versus Swayman. Nemitz has a wrister that's held. Nason has a slapper that's blocked. Things get pushy on a hole by Swayman. And at 7:25, Timo Meier scores from Pesce and Luke Hughes. That was the seventh shot on net for New Jersey. Boston had one. Boston does answer, though, at 8:43. It's Geeky from Pastrnak and Zadorov, so Geeky stays hot. 1-1 tie there. Devils press to respond. We then get a power play for Boston. That's killed off. With 3:37 left, the Bruins get a power play. That's also killed. If you heard a crunching noise, it's treats on the ground. I have been spoiling my rabbit crazy because she's so hungry. So, yeah, 1-1 tie after the first period. Bruins had back-to-back power plays, and they failed on both. Second period, Palat was not on the bench for New Jersey. That could be potentially troubling. One thing to keep in mind is we're so close to the playoffs that when somebody gets dinged up, the coach may just pull him out because the game doesn't really mean anything, so you don't want him to get hurt. At any rate, at 29 seconds, Pastrnak with a deke on a fast break. He scores to make it 2-1 Boston. Lindholm with the assist. We then get a power play for the Devils, and they score on it. At 4:07, it's Nason from Hischier and Meier. Burying a loose puck in close is Stefan Nason, having a really good year. And so that makes it 2-2. And then at 4:37, it's a face-off win. A bit of an oof here for Swayman. Nemitz scores from McLaughlin. McLaughlin, a former Boston Bruin, of course. And yeah, you need a save there. We then get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. The Devils go back to the power play, and they score again. At 13:37, it's Mercer from Hischier and Hughes. The Bruins would answer, though, at 16:53. Farinacci with his first National Hockey League goal. Lauko with the assist. So it is 4-3 in favor of New Jersey after two. Third period, Lauko has a net feed picked off. 4.5 minutes in, the only shot on net belongs to New Jersey, but at 5:08, it's Boston tying it. Kuznetsov from Lysell and Zadorov. The shots are 5-2 Boston with 5.5 minutes left. We end up going to overtime. In the overtime, at 1 minute and 30 seconds, Dumoulin goes post and in to get the New Jersey Devils the win. Mercer and Meier with the assists. New Jersey goes to 42-32-7 with the win. With the overtime loss, Boston finishes the season at 33-39-10. Your three stars are Dumoulin, Pastrnak, and Geeky. Shots on net, 8 apiece in the first, 15-8 New Jersey in the second, 7-2 Boston in the third. In the overtime, both teams had one shot. New Jersey's the one that matters. Final shots, 26-24 New Jersey. Power plays, the Devils go 2 for 2, Boston 0 for 2. The hits, 29-20 Boston. Allen saves 20 out of 24. Swayman saves 21 out of 26. All right, next up. Toronto and Buffalo. So all Toronto needed to do was get a point. They would clinch the division. Stolarz versus Luukkonen in this one. 3 minutes in, the only shot was for Buffalo. Tavares has a slot shot that's blocked. Clifton has a screen shot that's held. The shots are 10-5 Buffalo with 7.5 minutes left. We then get a power play for the Sabres. Peterka has a one-timer that's held. We get 15 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off. 0-0 after one. Second period, there's an early power play for the Leafs. That's killed off. One shot on net. Near miss for Domi on a net drive. Krebs has a net feed that's picked off. Halfway through the period, the shots are 3-2 for Toronto. This might have been the quietest game through the first half of the early games. It does get busy the second half, though. There's a near miss for Lafferty. Puck's cleared out. And then at 14:15, Lorentz opens the scoring for Toronto from Lawton and Yarncroke. Matthews is then denied and close. It's 1-0 Toronto after two. Third period, Dahlin has a slapper that's held. Robertson has a rush chance that's kicked aside. The shots are 5-2 Toronto, only 3 minutes into the game, or into the period. Power play for Buffalo, that's killed off. The Sabres press after it ends. Stolarz was busy in the third period. McMahon fires one wide on a rush. Robertson has a one-timer that's held. And then at 15:39, Mitch Marner. This is how you get your 100th point. He scores a goal on a cross-ice pass. Matthews and Nyes with the assist. So Buffalo pulls the goalie down by 2. Matthews hits the empty net for his 400th career goal at 18:08. And then at 18:43, Nick Robertson scores from Holmberg and McMahon to make the final score 4-0 for Toronto. So the Tony the Tiger Magnets on the board. We're getting the Battle of Ontario in the first round. I'm so excited. So Toronto goes to 51, 26, and 4 with the win. With the loss, Buffalo 35, 39, and 7. Shots on net. 3 stars first. I did the 3 stars because I didn't take nearly as many notes tonight. Stolars, Marner, and Luukkonen are your 3 stars. Shots on net, 13-8 Buffalo in the first, 11-9 Toronto in the second, 13 apiece in the third. Final shots, 35-32 for Buffalo. Power plays, both teams go 0 for 2. The hits, 17-13 Toronto. Stolars saves all 35 shots for the shutout. Luukkonen, 28 saves on 31 shots. All right, next up. Chicago and Ottawa. So it's Knight versus Forsberg. In a minute and 28 seconds in, Bedard scores from Donato and Korchinski. It's under the bar on the rush. It's the first shot on net. Forsberg had a rough night. Then at 6:13 on what was Chicago's third shot, they score again. It's Veleno from Moore and Foligno. The Sens look to respond, and at 6:56, Nick Cousins. Roos won on a fast break. Gilbert and Matt with the assists. With a minute and 37 seconds left, the Sens get a power play. It's 2-1 Chicago after 1. Second period, the Hawks finish the kill. Sens go back to the power play. They score on this one, and it takes a few seconds. Shabbat from Stützle and Cousins at a minute and 19 seconds. But the Hawks would get a power play. They score on theirs as well. Bedard, on what was only the 5th shot in the entire game for Chicago, and their 3rd goal. Bertuzzi and Rinzel with the assists at 2:24. Then there was a play where it looked like the Sens might have scored. They reviewed it and determined, nope, not a goal. Knight looking to steal one here. That was pretty obvious. Cousins gets denied on a one-timer. That's Dylan Cousins, as both Cousinses are in the lineup. Spelled different, no relation, of course. Batherson has a net feed that's blocked. We then get a power play for Ottawa, and they score on it at 15:06. 5 seconds into it, Batherson scores from Dylan Cousins. So it is a 3-2 lead for Chicago after 2 periods. Or no, it's 3-3 after 2 periods of play. My counting's even off. Third period. The Sens, good forechecking early. Shots are 2-0 Ottawa 4 minutes in. We get a power play for Chicago. There's a shorthanded 3-on-2 by the Sens that ends that. Shots are 3-1 Ottawa at the half. So exciting action all around tonight in the NHL. Donato has a net drive that's blocked. The Hawks go back to the power play. That's killed off. We're going to overtime. In the overtime, the first shot on net goes in. It's Chicago's Nazar. On a rush, he goes 5-hole. Bedard with the assist at 48 seconds. So Connor Bedard had a pretty good night. 4-3 overtime win for Chicago. They finished the season 25, 46, and 11. They finished the season with back-to-back wins. It's nice to go out on a good note. With the overtime loss, Ottawa 44, 30, and 7, and they're all set for a matchup with Toronto. It's going to be great. 3 stars are Bedard, Dylan Cousins, and Knight. Shots on net, 15-4 Ottawa in the first, 16-5 Ottawa in the second, 6 apiece in the third, and Chicago had the only shot in overtime. Final shots are 37-16 for Ottawa. Power plays, Chicago 1 for 3, Ottawa 2 for 3. The hits 26-16 in favor of Ottawa. Knight saves 34 out of 37. Forsberg, 12 saves on 16 shots. That's a rough night for Forsberg. All right, next up, Columbus and Philadelphia. Columbus looking to keep themselves alive and force Montreal to get a point to eliminate them in their game against Carolina. Or if they don't get a point, it leaves the door open for Columbus. So here we go. Greaves versus Harrison. There were no shots on net 3 minutes in. Pretty tentative start. Greaves was solid when tested. Monahan has a near miss on a rebound. We get a power play for Philadelphia. That's killed off. Shots are 7-6 Flyers with 8 minutes left. Marchenko's denied on a rush. The Flyers go back to the power play. That's killed off. Provorov has a screenshot. That's saved. There's no score after the first. Second period, good forechecking by the Flyers, but Columbus would score. At 2:32, Fabro goes post and in to open the scoring for Columbus. The assist to Werenski and Monahan. Columbus looks for another. Fantilli has a wrister that's held. Cates has a net feed that gets picked off. Forrester can't bury one in close. We get a power play for Columbus. That's killed off. 3:06 left. Columbus gets a power play. They score on this one. Kent Johnson from Monahan and Werenski at 17:01. It's 2-0 Columbus after 2. Third period. Shots are 5-2 Columbus at 4.5 minutes. Jenner has a net drive chance that's blocked. We get a power play for Philadelphia. That's killed off. And then at 13:28, Fantilli tips one in on a rush. It's his 30th goal of the season. The assist to Marchenko and Provorov. Columbus looks for another. The Flyers look to get something on the board late, but it's just not going to happen. It's a 3-0 shutout victory for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They go to 39, 33, and 9, and they are still alive. If Montreal loses in regulation in their next game and Columbus wins their next game, Columbus makes the playoffs. Philadelphia 33-38-10 with the loss. The magnet for chess is on the board because 3 goals or less, of course, and the Tony the Tiger magnet for the shutout. Your 3 stars are Greaves, Fabro, and Ersson. Shots on net, 9 apiece in the first, 14-12 Columbus in the second, 11-8 Columbus in the third. Final shots, 34-29 for the Blue Jackets. Power plays, Columbus 1 for 2, Philadelphia 0 for 3. The hits, 33-15 for Philadelphia. Greaves saves 29 shots. The guy's a hero. Are they retiring his jersey yet? Ersson, 31 saves on 34 shots. Greaves has just pulled their season right out of the fire and saved it. All right, last game on this board is Florida and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Vanacek versus Vasilevsky. In a minute and 32 seconds in, Tampa Bay scores. Point scores from Gord and Mosier, goes far side on a rush. Keep in mind that at the time this game scores, they are aware that Toronto is still within reach. Toronto had not clinched the division as of yet. Shots are 3-1 Florida at 4 minutes. We get a power play for Tampa. That's killed off. Nick Paul fans on a rush opportunity. We get a power play for Florida. That's killed off as well. And then at 15:25 on a cross-ice pass on a rush, Connor Geekie scores from Point and Hedman. So it's 2-0 Tampa. Bolts go to the power play. We get 52 seconds of 4-on-4. The referee is informed that he sucks. I wonder how they felt, though, when a shorthanded goal went in. Gansel scores from Cirelli at 18:09. So it's 3-0 for Tampa after the first period of play. So there's a minute and 11 seconds left in the double minor that the Florida Panthers were trying to score on to start the second period. The Bolts finish the kill. And then at 4:42, Kucherov adds to his season-leading point total. He scores from Gord and Point. Not long after, Florida does answer. At 5:36, it's Marchand. Playing in his 1100th game, he scores from Verhaeghe and Kjærstad. We then get a power play for Tampa. That's killed off. The fans call one. The referee does not. It is 4-1 in favor of the Lightning after 2 periods of play. Third period, Girgensons has a net drive that saves. Shots are 3-2 for Tampa at 4 minutes. Bennett's denied on a turnover. Kucherov has a net feed that gets picked off. We get a power play for the Panthers. There's a shorthanded rush by Hagel. That saved. That power play's killed off. Things get punchy at 8:28. Puljujarvi, it looks like, got tossed out of that game. So we'll see if anything comes out of that. It starts as 2 minutes of 4-on-4, however. It then becomes a 4-on-3 for the Bolts, which then becomes a 5-on-3 for Tampa, and they score during the 5-on-3. Radish, cross-ice pass and buried. Kucherov and Hedman with the assists at 11:22. So Kucherov, nice healthy point total to win the scoring title, the Art Ross. So that makes it 5-1. The Panthers, they do finish killing the major. Things get pushed in a hole by Vasilevsky, and things get scrummy at the horn. And I put yay, because these teams are going to meet each other in the playoffs. The Battle of Florida, the Battle of Alberta, Battle of Ontario. I'm excited. So it's a 5-1 win for Tampa. They will host Florida in the first round. They go to 47-26-8 with the win. With the loss, Florida 47-31-4. The regular season's done for them. Now you get ready for the playoffs. 3 stars are Point, Gord, and Kucherov. Shots on net, 8-7 Tampa in the first, 10 apiece in the second, 13-7 Tampa in the third. Final shots, 31-24 for the Lightning. Power plays, Florida 0 for 4, Tampa Bay 1 for 5. The hits, 37-26 for Florida. Vanacek saves 26 out of 31. Vasilevsky saves 23 out of 24. I think it's time for board number 2. Washington and the Islanders. So Lindgren versus Sorokin. Shots are 2-1 for the Islanders 5 minutes in. Beauvillier's denied and close. We get a power play for the Capitals, and they score. At 8:15, it's Dylan Strome firing one past the screen. It goes in off Pullock. Caps look for another. We get a power play for the Islanders. That's killed off. The Caps then get a turn on the power play. That's killed off as well. It's 1-0 Washington after 1. Second period, we get a power play for the Islanders. That's killed off. Their power play's been awful all year. Shots are 4-2 Capitals at 4 minutes. At 7:52, Strome on a turnover fires one from the slot, makes it 2-0. Ovechkin with the assist, and Strome set a new career high in goals with that one. Caps get a power play. That becomes 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off. Then with 2:44 left, the Caps get another power play. That's killed off. It's 2-0 Washington after 2. Third period, we get a power play for the Islanders. That's killed off. 9.5 minutes in, the shots are 5 apiece, and at 11:36, Pajot with one that deflects in on a net drive makes it 2-1. The Islanders then look to tie it. We get a post for Dobson on a rush. The teams trade rushes. There's a glove save on D'Angelo, and then at 18:49, with the goalie pulled, Strome gets the hat trick. Wilson endowed with the assists, making it 3-1. And at the end of the game, another nice moment here. I love how this season's wrapping up. handshakes for Matt Martin as his career rounds out. If you haven't seen the interview with Martin today, it's a tearjerker. So with the 3-1 win, Washington 51-21-9 on the season. With the loss, the Islanders 35-34-12. Your 3 stars, Martin gets the first star. No argument with that. Strome and Lindgren, the second and third stars. Shots on net, 10-8 Washington in the first, 13-12 Washington in the second, 13 apiece in the third. Final shots, 36-33 for the Capitals. Power plays, Washington 1 for 4. Islanders 0 for 4. The hits, 13-8 for Washington. Telling you that Washington not interested in anybody getting hurt tonight. Lindgren saves 32 out of 33. Sorokin saves 33 out of 35. Good game for Sorokin. Didn't get the goal support. All right, next up, Utah and St. Louis. So St. Louis with a win, they would clinch a playoff spot. Let's go through it. Vejmelka versus Binnington. Lone shot on net belongs to St. Louis at 2.5 minutes. Utah presses at 7.5 minutes, but on a rush at 8:08. Schenn puts a rebound into the net. Snuggerud and Buchnevich with the assists. Then at 11:17 on a cross-ice pass, Buchnevich scores. Neighbors and Thomas with the assists. 2-0 St. Louis. Robert Thomas did not finish this game. We'll see how his status is in following games or games that follow this one. Shots are 6-3 St. Louis with 6 minutes left. We get a power play for the Blues, and they score on it. Snuggerud gets his first National Hockey League goal. Bolduc and Buchnevich with the assists at 14:45. It was reviewed to see if it was kicked in. They decide, nope, good goal. So there you go. It's 3-0 St. Louis. With 3:07 left, the Blues get a power play. That becomes 18 seconds of 5-on-3. During the 5-on-4 on the other side of it, Bolduc gets one from the slot. Thomas and Fowler with the assists at 19:13. It's 4-0 St. Louis after one. You think they're motivated? This is what it should look like, Montreal, when you have a chance to close out the season and clinch a playoff spot. That's how it should look. Second period, power play for the Blues. That's killed off. Shots are 5-0 St. Louis at 5 minutes, but at 5:40 on a power play, early in the power play, Keller puts a one-timer top shelf. Sergachev and Schmaltz with the assists. It's 4-1. Blues press to respond. We get another power play for Utah. That's killed off. Shots are 10-9 for the Utah Hockey Club with 5 minutes left. Utah goes back to the power play. That's killed off as well. It's 4-1 St. Louis after 2. Third period, the Blues are doing a good job of blocking the path to the net. Then while Utah's pressing, Cole's stick dies. That leads to a rush by the Blues. Cooley has a net drive chance that saves. Shots are 3-2 St. Louis at 6 minutes. We then get a power play for the Blues, and they score on it. Kyrou, cross-ice pass and in. Schenn and Sundqvist with the assists at 6:59. It really is just basic. You want to make the goaltender stretch out. You want to make them go post to post. It's very difficult to do that, and this is why we see so many cross-ice pass and in for players now. We then get a power play for Utah. That's killed off. Things get pushy with 9:05 left. That leads to a Blues power play. That's killed off. And then at 17:24, Kyrou with his second goal of the game. Toropchenko and Fowler with the assists. It's a 6-1 win for St. Louis. They clinch a playoff spot. The No Mercy Magnets on the board because they did it by 5 goals. They go to 44-30-8. That's their final record for the season. The Utah Hockey Club 38-31-13. With the loss, their season's done as well. St. Louis will play Winnipeg in round 1. Your 3 stars are Schenn, Buchnevich, and Snuggerud. Shots on net, 12-5 St. Louis in the first, 14-9 Utah in the second, 8-4 St. Louis in the third. Final shots, 29-23 for the Blues. Power plays, Utah 1 for 4, St. Louis 3 for 6. The hits, 19-11 Utah. Vejmelka saves 23 out of 29. Binnington saved 22 out of 23. All right, next up. Anaheim and Minnesota. So Minnesota just needed a point to clinch a playoff spot. Dostal versus Gustafsson in this one. Early jump for the Wild, but not a lot of shots. Shots are 1 apiece 4 minutes in. We get a post for Boldy on a tip shot. We then get a post for Foligno on a rush. So the posts are working in favor of Anaheim. Kind of rude. Then at 9:47, Johansson scores from Zuccarello and Middleton to open the scoring for Minnesota. That did not get out from the post. Did not hit the post and not go into the net. All right, shots are 7-5 for the Wild with 8 minutes left. At 13:48, Killorn would score unassisted for Anaheim to tie the game at 1. The team said trade turnovers. Leo Carlson has a slot chance. That's blocked. Momentum for the Ducks after that 1-1 tie. But then with a minute and 10 seconds left, the Wild get a power play. So it's 1-1 after 1. To start the second period, the Ducks finish the kill. The Wild go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. Shots are 4-2 Minnesota at 4.5 minutes. Kaprizov to Brazo, that gets blocked. Kaprizov to Eriksson. There's a near miss. Minnesota had a ton of chances in that second period. The Ducks did not. Carlson has a net drive. That's blocked as well. So they did a good job of keeping Carlson away from the net. It's still tied at 1 after 2. Third period, fans call one. The referee does not. The shots are 3-1 for the Wild at 4 minutes. Things get pushy on a hold by Dostal. Brodin has a slapper that's blocked, and at 8:45, Colangelo goes backhand in close on a rush to give Anaheim the lead. McTavish and Zegras with the assists. The Wild look to respond. Faber has a screenshot that's held. Eriksson denied in close. Good forechecking by Anaheim. Carlson has a rush chance that's held, and at 19:38, Eriksson he does it. 22 seconds left in the third period. He ties the game. Boldy and Zuccarello with the assists. Eriksson buries his own rebound from the doorstep. We're going to overtime. But more importantly, with that point, Minnesota clinches a playoff spot and mathematically eliminates the Calgary Flames. I switched to the Calgary game right away to see if the players knew, and you could feel the air come out of that game in Calgary. So we go to overtime. Apparently Gustafsson had this idea. Marc-Andre Fleury, you're going into net for overtime because this is your last game in the National Hockey League. Just fantastic gesture. So we get a power play for Anaheim after a nice poke check by Fleury. And then that's killed off. So penalty kill works. Eriksson has a rush chance that's held. And then at 4:42, Matt Boldy scores the power play marker. Johansson and Brodin with the assists. So it's a 3-2 win in overtime for Minnesota. They go to 45-30-7 to finish the season. With the overtime loss, the Ducks 35-37-9. They didn't end up above 500 this year, but it's an advancement. Your 3 stars are one player. Marc-Andre Fleury is the 3 stars. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And everyone hugged Fleury after the winning goal. Usually the team will go out and hug the guy that got the game winner. Everybody just went and hugged Fleury. It's a feel-good story. Shots on net, 12 apiece in the first, 11-3 in the second for Minnesota, 14-9 Minnesota in the third, 5-3 Anaheim in the overtime. So the final shots are 40-29 for Minnesota. Power plays, Anaheim 0 for 1, Minnesota 0 for 2. The hits, 22-17 for Minnesota. Dostal saves 37 out of 40. Gustafsson saves 22 out of 24, and Marc-Andre Fleury goes in to save 5 shots in the overtime and get the win. I think that's 575 in his career. Good for him. What a good story. So, on a night where a lot of the hockey was very much just, this was a really good story and a really nice game. So now we get to Vegas and Calgary. And as this game went on, of course, we knew that St. Louis and Minnesota had clinched. So, what was left for Calgary? Hey, these Flames, they don't care. They will entertain no matter what. Samsonov versus Wolf. Vegas is blocking the path to the net. We get a post for Sharon Govich. They didn't block the path to the post. Carlson has a rush chance that's held, and then at 5:25, Dorofeev. It's deflected in at the net. The assist to Hurdle and Saad. It was initially, I believe, given to Saad, and then it changed to Dorofeev. Shots are 5-2 Flames at 7.5 minutes. We get a power play for Calgary, and they score on it. Frost, very quickly, very early in the power play, scores from Weegar and Coronado at 10 minutes and 11 seconds. And I believe they said that's the first goal by Frost in 28 games. So that ties the game at 1. But at 14:52, Roy scores from Barbashev and Kolasar. Weegar then has a wrister that's caught and held. And then in the final minute, at 19:36, Hurdle buries a net feed at the net to give Vegas a 3-1 lead. Saad and Haig with the assists. So 3-1 Vegas after 1. Second period, early jump for Calgary. The shots are 4-0 for the Flames at 5 minutes. Man, giving shots away and all that. Kolasar has a slot shot that's saved. Weegar has a wrister that's held. Pretty desperate hockey by the Flames. Desperate hockey involves a lot of forechecking, a lot of hitting, and just, good stick work and not taking penalties necessarily, but just playing with that desperate style. I thought the Flames were doing that well. Theodore has a net drive that's blocked. Shots are actually 7-6 Vegas with 5.5 minutes left. There's a near miss for Coleman and close, and with 11.7 seconds left, the Flames get a power play. So it's still 3-1 for Vegas after 2. The power play rolling over to the third period, and 32 seconds in, Kadri wires one short side to make it a 3-2 lead. Huberdeau and Coronado with the assists. And then at 1:04, Backlund. It's past a screen and it deflects in. Coleman and Ball with the assists. We have a 3-3 tie. Then there's a post for Ball as the Flames are pressing, looking for the lead. Things get scrummy in a hole by Samsonov. We get a power play for Vegas. That's killed off. And then another deflection at 11:01. Klapka gives Calgary the lead at 4-3. Pahal and Kadri with the assists. So Vegas scores. Is a goalie interference. They challenge for it, and it counts. So at 11 minutes and 12 seconds, Saad scores. And because the challenge failed, it's a Vegas power play. So the Flames kill that off, and then they rush when it's done. We go to overtime, tied at 4. Smith has a net drive chance that's saved. Saad is denied from the doorstep. Backlund is denied on a rush. And then there's a post for Rasmus Andersson when he was in by himself trying to get the win. So we go to the shootout. Morgan Frost gets the shootout winner. Calgary wins 5-4 in the shootout. They go to 40, 27, and 14. You play till the end. You got all these fans paying to watch you. This is the thing. When I'm watching these players just kind of skating around and I'm thinking, people paid over $100 each, and I'm just being conservative with this. Over $100 each to watch you. I don't know. It's just I feel like the lack of effort, even though I understand, I get it. It's still kind of tough. But your 3 stars in this one: Klapka, Saad, and Kadri. Vegas, of course, 49, 22, and 10 with the overtime loss. Shootout loss. They finished their season in Vancouver. Shots on net, 11-9 Vegas in the first, 13-8 Vegas in the second, 15-10 Vegas in the third, and in the overtime, 3-1 Vegas. They outshoot Calgary, 42-28. I'm surprised that Dustin Wolf didn't get a star. The power plays, 0-2 for Vegas. Calgary scored on both of theirs. The hits, 22-13 Vegas, or for Calgary. Samsonov saves 24 out of 28. Wolf saved 38 out of 42. We don't get to a shootout without Wolf being heroic out there. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the last game of the night, which did take a while. LA and Seattle. LA resting some top guys. No Byfield, no Doughty, no Kopitar, no Anderson. Like it was a lot of guys that were out. Riddick versus Decord in this one. Early jump for Seattle. In fact, 4 minutes in, the shots are 5-0 for the Kraken. Riddick, pretty good and busy. Stevenson to Tolvanen, near miss. The shots are 11-3 for Seattle with 6 minutes left. And at 15-14, Hellenius tips one in on a rush. Gavrikov and Spence with the assists. We then get a power play for the Kings, and they score on it. At 16-23, it's Turcotte from Kempe and Fiala. So it's 2-0 for LA after one, and some of these guys who are getting a chance to play higher up in the lineup because of the guys that are out, doing pretty well. Alex Turcotte sticking out for good reasons. Second period, we get a power play for the Kings. It's a 4-minute as well. And on a fast break, shorthanded, Ty Cartier scores at 5:26. The Kraken then finish killing off the double minor. Shots are 4-2 Seattle at 6.5 minutes. Things get pushy on a hole by Riddick. And I'm just going to address this here. I wrote it on the board in a different color. Cassie Campbell was doing the color for this game, and she kept talking about how the Oilers would be watching this game for strategies against the Kings. First off, the Edmonton Oilers are about to face the Kings for the 4th year in a row. They know the Kings. Secondly, a lot of the Kings' premier guys are out of the lineup tonight, so why watch a game that doesn't matter, and the teams are not going to be playing the way that they will when the playoffs arrive. So, no, I don't believe that the Oilers tonight were watching this game, taking notes on how to play against the Kings. It stood out to me because she said it more than once. She said it a few times. And so I'm just saying, I'm not saying that they weren't, but I'd be very surprised if they were, because the game does not matter. And the Oilers know the Kings. They're tired of the Kings, I'm sure, and I'm sure the Kings are tired of the Oilers. Should be a fantastic first-round matchup, though. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox, and we'll continue. So, there's a power play for Seattle. That's killed off. The Kraken go back to the power play, and they score on it. Montour, it's a point shot that deflects in. Burakovsky and Kakko with the assists at 13-24. It may very well have changed from Montour. That's fine. And then I say that because it shows Montour on the app, and I was like, I don't know if that was Montour tipping, but it's fine. Then at 16:05, Fogle jams one in close on a backhand. He set a career high in goals. It's going to be great to see him against the Oilers in that first round, isn't it? The assist to Dano and Gavrikov. Acemont then tries the Michigan, hits the post, it fails. And then in 17-17, Laferriere buries a rebound on a rush. The assists to Fiala and Malott. So for Laferriere, he's right on the verge of 20 goals there. And so, yeah, we go to the third period with the score, what is it at this point? 4-2 in favor of the LA Kings. Big early saves by Riddick, and then at 1:41, Kempe buries one from the side of the net. The assist to Turcotte and Kuzmenko. Then at 2:38, Hellenius gets the second goal of the game. The assist to Moverare. Then at 5 minutes and 12 seconds, Jaden Schwartz scores. The assists there to Alexiak and Ottavainen. Ottavainen making his NHL debut and getting an assist in his debut. Then we get a power play for Seattle, and they score on it to make it a 2-goal game. Beniers at 13:34 from Eberle and McCann. This is where I just said I'm done. A little bit after that, I was like, I'm done. I'm not watching the rest because I want to get the review started. So I got the review started, and at 19 minutes and 30 seconds, Tolvanen makes it a 1-goal game. The assist to Wright and Dunn, but that is as close as Seattle got. It's a 6-5 win for the Kings. They go to 48-24-9 with the win. Seattle's season is done. They finished 35-41-6 on the year. 3 stars are Gavrikov, Kempe, and Ottavainen. So nice to see him get into the 3 stars. He got his first point. It's a nice story. Shots on net favored Seattle the whole way through. 11-5 in the first, 11-9 in the second, 12-10 in the third. It just felt like Seattle would have all kinds of chances, and then LA would go and score. The power plays 1 for 3 for the Kings, 3 for 4 for Seattle. The hits 28-12 for the Kings. Riddick 29 saves on 34 shots. Decord, rough night for him, 18 saves on 24 shots. In the last game he's going to play until October, at least regular season. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I have no idea how this took over half an hour. I took way less notes than I normally do. I yammer, I yap. It's what I do. All right, thank you guys for all your support as always. This is the last 10-game review. It's the last time you're going to see a 5-game board until October, so drink it in. Because I'm taking the tape off of these, and they're going to be playoff boards tomorrow. All right, thanks again for your support. I will talk to you soon enough.